Good morning. Happy to see you again. In the sense, we are traveling together to know ourselves. That is the knowledge of the self. So, in continuation of what was being said yesterday, we have seen how the human beings, as compared to the plant and the animal world, are living in total contradiction to nature. The peaceful atmosphere, what is prevalent there in the plant world and the animal world, is totally missing in the among the human beings in the world, and it has contributed to unimaginable levels of conflict among the people, whether they are a small group of 4 people or it is a nation versus nation. There are contradictions everywhere which lead to ultimately disrupting the peace in the society and be a cause for committing wars, crimes against the mankind itself. The killing of lakhs and lakhs of people has not happened due to some external forces, has not happened to the other two occupants of the earth, the plants and the trees and the animals. But the killing of human beings has taken place only because of the human beings themselves. There is no external force involved. It is easy to say, blame others, like natural disasters like cyclone or tsunami or an earthquake and all that. These are external forces occurring naturally, and if people are being killed out of that, then it can be blamed. It is because of the natural disasters these killings have taken place. But apart from these disasters occur occasionally, and during the rest of the time the people are being killed, people are living in perpetual conflict, is due to ourselves. It's all due to ourselves. We don't need to go and search anywhere the reason for this sort of conflict. We live in conflict. So this point has to be noted as a one step where we have to analyze as to what is the cause for such a conflict among the human beings. This has to be analyzed. If we have to attain the knowledge of the self, we have to find out the root causes for the disharmony among the human beings, the conflict among the human beings, because that once we know that cause, then only we will be able to destroy that cause or get out of that and make a living or make the world a livable place. So the knowledge of the self, as I said earlier, it is only to know ourselves in order to live a harmonious life, a life of joy and celebration. That is what we are here for. The purpose of human beings, with all its knowledge, intellect, intelligence and independent mind, is only to have a living which is as peaceful as the animal world, as harmonious as the plant world, as livable as flora and fauna. So one reason why we should find out as to what is the cause for such a disharmony among the people. That is one thing. One step we will have to analyze at a later stage. So the one cause we have identified, the human beings are the cause for the conflict. In fact, if you go if you go deeper into the way of living of all the three participants in this world, the plants, the animals and the human beings, or if you see, even if you go to a forest, that is an ideal place to do our research or analysis. If you go to a forest, we will see that there is a perfect harmony there. There is a peace which is unachievable in anywhere in any part of the world, however rich a person is, however a man possesses enormous amount of wealth, But the forest, the animals live peacefully, and there are different types of animals, not one or two, there are plenty of animals of all creatures, all living creatures, they live there in the natural forest. And of course, the flora, the plants, the trees, grass, everything, they also plenty in variety, and there is absolute silence, absolute peace. Of course, they do not have any language to speak, that is there, but they communicate among themselves. See, it is not that animals do not communicate among themselves, they do communicate. They have a language of their own and they communicate. And even the plants, trees also, they also communicate with each other. In fact, the nature communicates with them, and these animals and plants, they communicate with the nature and have a sort of premonition to find out as to what is likely to come in the future. If we carefully look at it, if some, you see, there are signs that a cyclone is likely to come, or the rains are likely to come, or a storm is likely to come. It is the birds, it's the animals which should find out much before it comes, and they take precautions accordingly, and they live. The nature wants them, and these beings, they perceive them, understand them, and then take precautions. They live accordingly. But we are not. You see, despite all our advancements in science and technology, we know. Now we are able to predict, yes, there is going to be a cyclone, there is going to be a storm, yes, it has to be, but we cannot take any precautions. It happens suddenly. An earthquake comes, all of a sudden it comes. Whatever advance, you have all those sort of fancy instruments in scientific world, they are not able to predict a earthquake. Maybe a tsunami can be predicted, or maybe a cyclone can be predicted, but earthquake it cannot. So the forest is an ideal place to start our search as to how this is happening, how they are living very peacefully. That also we will keep it aside to analyze afterwards as to what is causing them to live happily. Because being an evolution as advanced as we are as a human beings, we should have an intelligence much above that of the plants and the animals. We have a thinking capacity, we have an intellect with which we can go on finding out new things. We can do that. We are doing it. In fact, we are doing it. That is why we have advanced so much in the outer world. The technology has taken us so far, but whether it is being utilized for the man to live happily or not, it's a different question altogether. It is not there at all. If at all one has to see, it is not there. The advancement has not taken the man to a higher pedestal where he lives peacefully with all the human beings. On the contrary, it has created all sort of disharmony, or it has created all sort of divisions in the society by means of economic welfare, economic wealth, and further their own interests, more personal goals rather than for the community as a whole. This luxury and comfort what we have obtained is only a byproduct or only incidental to the scientific discoveries. The major aim of scientific discoveries, as I would say, is to amass wealth. Only to amass wealth, because by finding out so many things, like Einstein did, he had so many patents and all that, the Western world, where the discoveries and inventions, whatever has been done, has ultimately resulted in obtaining patents and then imposing it on other people and win commercially over them, make a lot of money out of it. And it continues even today, that West is exploiting the technological advancements on the nations which are underdeveloped or developing nations. The technology is being misutilized to make money. That's all. To put it in simple words, it is only to make money. These people are advancing the research. Yes, there is a genuine research which is taking place, which improves the living conditions of it medically to fight the diseases. to improve the longevity of the persons, human beings, and to reduce the physical diseases. All that research is taking place. There is no doubt about that. But the other research what is taking place in the outer world is only to go to lining the pockets of people who are the discoverers, who are the patent holders, who are the royalty, who take enormous amount of royalties by imposing it on other people, other worlds, other nations. One example is, the computers. By imposing software on the people, by software on the nations, and making it a law which is not justifiable at all, the West has earned billions of money by selling those softwares. Compare it to the yesteryears, where the masters they also explored the world. The scientists explored the outer world, the masters explored the inner world, and they found out much more than what the scientists have done. Did they charge any money for that? Did they obtain any patents for that? Did they, procure royalty out of it? It's available freely for all the people. That is how it is. That is how it should be. If you just look at the nature whatever is giving to the human beings is not being charged at all. Does nature charge any fees for that? Any royalty? Does nature hold any patent? Any human being, any animal, any living creature, nature gives it absolutely freely, without any expectation, without wanting something in return. That is where we have failed to recognize the nature. The West has failed to recognize the nature's contribution to the human beings and learn from the nature how to go about. That is why the knowledge has been given. That is why the intellect has been given. That is why humans possess intelligence which is far beyond that of the animals and the plants. You have been given intelligence. You have been given intellect. You have been given a free thinking mind which can push the barriers. But we have not listened to the nature. We have not understood nature. We have not tried to copy the nature. Anything natural which happens in nature does not go to destroy the nature itself. You see, the human beings, like if you take a man, he takes about 35 tons of food during his entire lifetime. One man. Take the population as a whole. Imagine what is the tonnage of food which is being consumed. And all this food consumption, it results in it is left over. The dirt out of the food which we consume, which comes out of the body, is degraded and the earth absorbs it. The human waste is absorbed totally without any footprint. No waste, no garbage, nothing. Crores of people all over the world. But look at us, what we created in the form of inventions. Are they degradable? They are given us benefit, but they are not possible to be degraded, in the sense they cannot be absorbed on the earth itself. You take plastics, you take electronic waste, you take nuclear waste, all these things created out of the advancement in science and technology the humankind is struggling to dispose them of without causing harmful effects to the society, to the nature as well as to the people. We are suffering. We are unable to dispose them of. We are trying to, dig deep into the earth and dump all this nuclear waste inside without anybody's knowledge. We dump all the plastic waste in the oceans and cause, all the marine life to die. The plastic is killing us. So the intellect and intelligence of human beings are being misused. They are being misused. If at all we have to, live happily without any harmful effects, then the science and technology should find out products which are being degraded, which is possible to be degraded within the earth. Otherwise, don't. We do not have any right to spoil the nature. We do not have any right at all. But on the contrary, we have been creating tons and tons of garbage all over the world, and we do not know how it is going to make this earth a livable earth for our children and grandchildren. We are only amassing monetary wealth and to keep it as a legacy for our children. But we are making this world, the nature, the atmosphere highly polluted and make it more unlivable and causing enormous physical harm to our children and grandchildren, which is going to happen. So the absence of self-knowledge is one factor which we have to consider as we are treating the nature. Only human beings do that. The plants do not do it. The animals do not do it. But we are spoiling the nature to an enormous extent. It is because of the lack of self-knowledge. That has to be understood. Because only after we understand, then the importance of having the knowledge of the self comes to the foreground. We need it. It is we, in the sense all the people need it. All the people need it, and all these people should have been given. At least now we are the generation who has crossed. But at least for our future generations, we should be able to imbibe them all these things, the knowledge of the self, the way we should live along in perfect harmony with the nature, should be taught to the children in their younger age itself. At least now, that has to be recognized. The soil, the atmosphere, the water, everything has to be saved. Otherwise the land will become barren. The water will become undrinkable. In fact, the third World War is being predicted as if it will happen only for water. Nothing else. It is going to happen. Already we have seen in South Africa how the water famine, water scarcity has hit a major city and people suffered. It is likely to happen in any part of the world because we are damaging the eco resources because we do not have the knowledge of the self. You might be wondering what this has got to do with the knowledge of the self. But let's see at the final stage when we know what is what and how it is related, how these things are related, interrelated to each other. We can find it out. So the way we live is one of the analysis we are supposed to do so that we live happily and peacefully. For that, what are the requirements we will see, and as compared to the existing conditions are which are in this world now, we have now discussed, and now only we have to come out of it. Unless the education system is changed and these these elements of self-knowledge is introduced, it is not going to make any difference at all, because people will come out just like automats out of the schools and colleges without knowing, without having any knowledge of the self, and that only makes them unprepared, underprepared for the life they are likely to lead. So this is very important. Now we have seen the outer world, what is happening, and what are the, as it is, the deficiencies which cause the disharmony and all that. Now let us come to the individual. Now, as a human being, who are we is a major question which we have to answer. We have to answer a question. So if we start analyzing a man, who am I? If I make a question to myself, you can't ask this question to others, because then you will get only an answer which is given in the books, or which is not at all true. So when I ask myself, who am I? I understand that I am a body with all these senses, and apart from the body, I have a mind which has got a memory and an intellect and intelligence. Now, if I still ask myself, then okay, it is there, but how are they functioning? Because for anything to function, there has to be a cause, there has to be an energy, isn't it? So if I ask a question further, then it is okay, you are the mind, you are the body, then who is causing, who is operating them, what is operating them? Then we are unable to give a straight answer. We say, yes, there is some energy which is causing us to operate. There is an energy which is helping us to live. Okay. Now the spiritual people say it is soul. Let it be. We will not use that word at all. We will say there is an energy. There is an energy which helps each and every individual to live in this world. With that energy only, the human body functions, and the human mind functions. So there are three aspects. One is a mind, the second is a body, the third is an energy. These three are there. We will not call by any other name. Okay. Now first we will take the body. How does the body functions? When I go deeper, we are now trying to enter into the inner world. So when I go and think about it, when I ask a question, how is the body functioning? I come to an answer which says, I am not the reason for the body to function. I am not functioning. I am not causing it. It is functioning. Isn't it? It is functioning by itself. That is the answer I get. From my mind, I get an answer, yes, the body is functioning, but I don't seem to have done anything for that to function. I have not done anything. If you go still deeper and find out, now what is the body made up of? There are 5 sensory organs: eyes, ears, nose, mouth, touch sensation. These are the 5 sensory organs. And the body, in the external body, we have hands and legs, fingers, with which you can do some physical action. Yes, the body does the physical action. It is possible. I can use my hands and legs to do some action. That is there. Yes. But the inner body, what are the organs? There are plenty of organs. Important being that the heart is there, the liver is there, kidney is there, lungs are there. So many things are there. These are major. Now, the sensory organs, as I said, their eyes, ears, and nose, and mouth, and all that. So, when I look at them, these five sensory organs, am I helping them or am I causing them to function? No, I don't. I don't cause anything for the eyes to see. It sees by itself. I am not helping it. I am not commanding it. I am not preventing it. But it sees by itself. So whatever is placed in front of the eye, it sees and then it sends signal to the brain. Isn't it? That is the function of the eye. The ears, I don't operate. They listen by themselves. Any sound which is happening around me, it listens and sends it to the brain. The breath, it happens by itself. I don't do anything. It happens. Throughout the day it happens 24,600 times. The breath happens. When I eat, I gulp it. I eat and then send it down. The rest is taken care by the intestines, stomach, with all other organs. If somebody touches me, I feel hot or cold or something, then that feeling, sensation is sent to the brain. I don't send it, but it goes by itself. I simply put food in my mouth, it automatically goes inside and starts digesting. The sound is heard by the ear, sends it to the brain, brain identifies what sort of sound is there, audio is there, then we recognize it. The eye see the thing images, the objects in front of it sends the image, it is reflected and then it comes as an identified object from the brain. These are the sensory organs functions, and none of the sensory organs are controlled by us. So your sensory organs function independently by themselves and they go on doing it all through the life by themselves without your interference or without your command or without your whims and fancies. Nothing of the sort. Okay? This is for all the human beings. Then what happens? The internal organs, the heart, the lungs, the kidney, everything hot, it cleans the blood, enables the circulation of blood among the entire body. The lungs, breathe in, breathe out, air comes in, comes out, goes out, clean air is sent into the bloodstream and then the oxygen is useful for us to live. The bad air goes out. The lungs do that. The kidney does it, takes care of the blood circulation, separating the wanted and the unwanted. The liver takes care of the entire metabolic functions. The waste comes out in the form of urine and motion. The waste comes out of the body in the form of sweat. The waste comes out in the form of dirt in the eyes as well as in the nose. So the human waste produced by the human body is sent out through the 9 holes of the body. Through the 9 holes of the body, it doesn't keep the waste, it sends it out by itself. Are we anywhere responsible for that, for the waste to come out? No, it happens by itself. It takes care, the entire body takes care by itself. It sends out, periodically it sends out. The only thing is it gives you the sensation that the waste is likely to come out and then you go and do the job. So that way, the internal organs go on doing their job perfectly without any, interruption, without any requirement of any maintenance. It works. It sends out the waste. The cycle takes place, the metabolic cycle takes place perfectly. And all you have to do is to eat, that's all. Not even breathing. Breathing also is taken care. What we have to do is only eat. And whatever you eat, it gets converted into blood. Another tremendous, fantastic thing to happen in the body, inside the body, is whatever you eat, it gets converted into blood. Can you see any machine of that kind anywhere in this world? Impossible. The human body is such a fantastic machine, futuristic machine, which nobody can make anywhere. And we are living with that body, and we have not given any due respect to that body. We have not given any due respect to that body. We have taken it for granted. We have taken the body for granted. We have never given any due respect. We have never given any gratitude. We have no sense of gratitude towards the body. All along it is taking care of you, but you are not bothered to think about it, or did not extend any gratitude or thanks or something to the body and its parts. Yes, in our system, in our culture, there is a way by which we thank the body. That is called Ayuda Puja, the puja for the weapons. Now that particular Ayuda Puja, what we do in our culture is to worship all the instruments in the house, in the household instruments, your vehicle, your car, books and all, pen, pencil and all that, grinders, mixies, TV, so all the instruments which help you to live, you thank them on that day, clean them and then worship them. That is Ayuda Puja. That is Ayuda Puja. In reality, that Ayuda Puja is meant for worshipping your own internal organs. Instead of worshipping, you express your gratitude to them because they help you to live. Are we doing it? We are not doing it. It never occurred to us that this sort of thing exists. Because the education is like that. The education is like that. Because since there is no knowledge of the self, then only all these things will come into the front. So the Ayuda Puja, that is the expressing gratitude for your own internal organ, for your sensory organs, is to be done every day by each and every individual human being in the morning. As soon as you get up from your bed, what you do is to just express your thanks, gratitude to the energy in you and these instruments of organs for their selfless service to you. You express your gratitude in the morning. That is the only worship which you are supposed to do. That is the only worship. Express your gratitude to the energy within the body and to the internal organs of the body. This is the only prayer, this is the only worship which you have to do. Nothing else is required. There is no need to go anywhere, here, there and all that. Recite, read scriptures, go to places, worship. Nothing is required. Nothing is required. If you worship your body, it is enough. If you understand your body, it is enough. If you understand your mind, it is enough. Now, was this told to the younger generation any time in the school days or the college days? Such a simple lesson which is available with us. Has it been told to us? If at all it has been told to us, what would have happened? We would have worshipped our body. We would have taken care to see that this body, which is the temple, the body is a temple built by the God. We are building temples outside, in the external world. We are building temples with brick and mortar and place an idol inside and worship. These are temples built by human beings. And we go there to worship, to pray. But the temple built by God is us. This body. This body is a temple built by God. Because no one can construct this temple. Instead of my saying God, you use the word supreme intelligence. The supreme intelligence has built the body as a temple which we have to maintain and worship, express our gratitude and thanks day after day. That is the first step in the knowledge of the self. That is the first step in the knowledge of the self. Your body doesn't belong to you. Your body doesn't listen to you, doesn't obey your commands, but it functions and takes care of you to live in this world. This has to be understood. So you don't want the body at all. You see, even in our language, when we speak in Tamil, we always say, as a normal usage, whenever you are not well, what do you say? And somebody asks you, how are you? I said, not well. The body is paining. There is a headache. There is a fever. Like that. Somebody asks, how are you? You say this. You're saying, the body is paining. Fever is there. Headache is there. All these things we say. It is paining here. It is paining there. That is what you say. But in English language, we say, when somebody is asking, how are you? Then you say, I am not well. I am having a headache. I am having a fever. This is how they say. But here in Tamil, what they say, in our language, body is paining. Body is having a headache. Body is not well. This is how we say. So, this usage of words itself points out to a fact that your body, you are not the body. The body is a third party. That is how we talk, we speak in the normal day-to-day usage we are making. This has been customized because of that. By understanding, by realizing that, you will come to knowledge that you are not the body. Your body is a third party. So that is why that usage has come in our language. That is our culture. The knowledge of the self has been incorporated in our day-to-day usage of the words, language itself. In English, it doesn't expect. We say, I am not well, as if you and the body are the same. That is why, since you have identified yourself with the body, you say, I am not well. I am having a fever. I am having a headache. I and the body are the same. That is how they have not gained any self-knowledge at all. But here, as the first step, we understand my body is separate. I am not the body. The body and I are separate. This is one. So we have now identified ourselves that my body, I am not the body. The body is not me. Okay, when I say the me, it is not the body. Now the second aspect is, let us look at what is the other out of the three. What is the second aspect? Is the mind. How is the mind? Now we will just discuss the structure of the mind in the next video. But now, when I say my mind, is it your mind? We say it's my mind. I think my mind and all that. In my thinking, in my mental calculation or mental analysis, I say my mind. Isn't the mind yours? Just think seriously and find out whether the mind belongs to you. Let us look at the structure afterwards, but let us answer the simple question: is the mind yours? When I think seriously, I find out the mind doesn't seem to belong to me at all. Because if anything, see, the body, we were talking about the body. There in the body, what happened? As I said, it is not ours, it is not mine. The body functions by itself. Why? I am not in charge of the body, or I am not in charge of or control of the body parts. I cannot direct anything inside the body to happen. I can't ask, okay, I require extra blood in my right leg. Can I divert it? No, I can't do it. Here there is an excess, here there is a shortage. Let us that. No, you can't do anything. So there is where you don't have a control over anything, then it doesn't belong to you. That is a basic Understanding, isn't it? If it doesn't belong, I can't help, I can't do anything, I don't have any command over it, control over it, means then it doesn't belong to me at all. That's all. So that way, the mind, when I seriously think, does my mind obey me? Does my mind obey me? I get an answer, no.